Hey guys, and welcome to this new video of the two-part series on how to drive laser-targeted traffic to a laser-targeted landing page in order to drive sales like crazy. If you watched the first part, it was about how you can set up the landing page using ClickFunnels in the example, but also apps like Zipify. And in this part right here, we will talk about the actual advertising and marketing side. So if you didn't watch the first video, please check the video below and watch it, and then come back to this one here. Plus, this video goes very well with my free 40 pages report on how to use AdWords to create compelling ads, to research profitable keywords, to come up with good ideas, to link everything together. So please make sure that you download this report as well to really get the most out of this video, but also out of your business in general. So, like I said, in this video, we talk about how we can use AdWords to drive laser-targeted traffic that will buy our products. So let's just get started with our example of this cotton candy maker that I showed you in the last video already. So what I will be doing here is I go into my Google AdWords Keyword Planner, which is a free tool, and the more you spend, the more accurate the forecast of this planner gets. And we will just enter our main keyword, which is cotton candy maker, or probably even nostalgia cotton candy maker. We will be looking for searches in the United States and the United Kingdom, and we will only look at searches in English. And I want to use Google Search and Google and search partners, because this essentially gives us more traffic, and we made pretty good experiences with search partners, even though they're always a little worse than Google itself. So let's just hit get ideas, and now Google will load a bit and give us all kind of ideas on keywords that we can use. And why is it so powerful? Well, because imagine you link someone who's looking for a cotton candy machine to the landing page I just showed you. Of course, this means 100% relevance. This means that people are actively looking for this product. We are giving them exactly what they are looking for, and the chance that they will be buying our product is pretty high compared to, for example, a Facebook ad where they see a product, they think, oh, that's quite cute, that's interesting. They visit the website, but probably they never had some actual buying intent behind this visit. So right here, we can see all kind of terms, and this very first one here at the top is already one that we can definitely use, Nostalgia Cotton Candy Maker, which has 4,500 monthly searches and a pretty decent suggested bid. Now, the searches that will show up next could include all kind of different things. So in this case here, for example, cotton candy machine is a very good one, even though it's really huge in terms of monthly searches. But let's just include this at this point. In general, you should look for keywords that have anywhere between like 1,000 and probably 10,000 monthly searches, as long as you can combine them with others. So you could, for example, use ones that are very specific, so-called long tail keywords with only like 1 or 2 or 3,000 monthly searches, and then you can use 10 or 15 or 20 of them in an ad group, and this way you have the super laser targeted keywords, because one ad group always shares a specific list of keywords, and you can only create ads on the keyword on the ad group level. So you should always make sure that the keywords you put in one ad group are very related. And the way you can approach this whole thing now is you have two layers of relevance. The first one is super targeted, which in our case would be everything related to nostalgia, cotton candy, because this is essentially what it is. This isn't like a modern high-tech machine. This is some nostalgia kind of thing. And if you only include this nostalgia related keywords that you can probably find a little more down here, cotton candy machine for sale. Let's move on to the next side. Actually, nostalgia cotton candy machine like this, nostalgia stuff. If you only include these highly relevant keywords that include the cotton candy aspect and the nostalgia aspect, then your traffic will be 100% relevant. In this case, you really have the most promising traffic, and if you manage to create a good ad and direct them to your page, chances that you're actually selling products is really high. This is the first level of relevance, and this has the lowest search volume. In the second part, and this also includes the keyword that we added in the beginning, this cotton candy machine keyword here in general, this is still very relevant to your page, but it's a little less relevant. So this is basically the second level of relevance. I always recommend that you first go with the first level, because it gives you the most promising traffic, and in the beginning you shouldn't care that much about the volume. And as soon as you essentially maximized your potential. As soon as you got the most out of the first level traffic, you should move on to the second level traffic and expand your reach with more general, with broader keywords that are still relevant for your page and your product, but a little less than the first level. So in our example now we have 3 keywords, and in your case you should have anywhere between like 5 and 20 keywords in an ad group. Of course, there are exceptions. If you find 100 keywords that are still very, very closely related to each other, you can also do this. But typically, the more keywords you add, the more of a difference there is between these keywords. And remember that all these keywords share one ad, and if the ad speaks directly to one of these keywords but not to others, this won't be 100% relevant, and people might not be clicking as much. So essentially, what we will do next now is, like I said, research a little more keywords, and now we will hit on review plan. And now Google gives us an estimate on roughly how many clicks and everything we will get. Ignore this all conversions part, because this is like, I don't know why they actually show it, because this is totally useless in my experience. But let's say we have a bid of $1 per click and we have a $15 daily budget. Now Google tells us you will get roughly 19 to 23 clicks a day at 820 to 1K impressions. We see here that if we have a max CPC of 42 cents, so let's change it, of 41 cents, this would give us the most clicks for our budget. This isn't 100% accurate, like you might as well get like 30 clicks or 25 clicks or 60 clicks, but usually it's a very rough, it gives you a rough idea on what you can achieve in this case. So have a look at this graph, because in the beginning you don't have much more data anyway, so you might as well just look at this, and it gives you an idea on what you should bid and also an idea on how much traffic you will get. So in this case, Google says we'll probably get like 1.5% click-through rate, an average position of 2.13. Typically the stats that I get on Google are between like 3 and 15% click-through rate, and position of like 1 to 2.5 or 3. It doesn't always matter which position you have. You can also get a lot of good sales on position 4, but in general, of course, you should aim for a higher position right here. So if you played around with all these things here, you can save this to your account. You can create a new campaign. We call this Cotton Candy Maker. We will choose Cotton Candy Maker test. We will choose the default bid of 0.41 and a daily budget of $15, and now we hit save and continue. So now AdWords is creating our campaign and saving it to the account. Now we can create ads for this campaign, and this is the second part. So the first part was about keyword research. Now we did it really fast and not really in depth. But the first part is keyword research. The second part is coming up with a highly engaging ad. And this I will also basically explain this process in detail in the free 40 pages manual that I just mentioned in the beginning. So here we will come up with the URL, let's say Cotton Candy Maker, even though it's a different one for us. And headline 1 is Nostalgia Cotton Candy Maker. And remember that if you type in something in Google, the words that you typed in will be highlighted in the ad. So make sure that your main keyword will always appear in your headline, because this way people think that it's 100% relevant, which it also might be if you do it the right way. So here we had some headlines and things like sweeten up your day. This is something that you could include in your ad. So the first one is about the product, and the second one is a little more like about the benefits and a little more personal. I won't spend like half an hour now thinking about the perfect ad, but you get the idea on what you should do. And here you can say products and then cotton candy or something like this. Or if you have a page that is called cottoncandymaker.com, of course, then you can leave out the display path entirely, because it's 100% relevant already. In the description, you could mention things like this. Get your own cotton candy maker today, including free UK shipping to your door, or something like that, right? So you can talk a little bit more about the product. You could also mention some of the great features or benefits that the product has, and you should generally come up with quite a good copy so that people who look at this are enticed to actually click the ad and land on your website. But of course, at the same time, you should only make promises that you can keep with your website. So it doesn't help you if you promise them an entirely different thing in your ad, and once they click through to your website, they will realize that this isn't true. And in this case, you have a lot of clicks, but you don't have a lot of conversions. And sooner or later, Google will give you a penalty because people don't have a good experience with the landing page. Your quality score goes down. You have to pay more for a click, and so on and so forth. So this is our test ad right here, and what you can see here at the bottom, high rated product, secret ingredient, are so-called call outs, and you can define them in your account. There are so-called extensions that you can find here. You can define call outs that will show below your text. So this might be a physical location of your business. This can be these keywords like high rated product, secret ingredient, and technically you could also include free shipping so that you don't have to include free shipping in your ad text. You can also add much more extensions like reviews for your store. You can include discounts like 20% off or something as an extension, which is very, very powerful, but I won't mention them all in this video. Like I said, get the report if you want a full in-depth guide on all these things and how to create the perfect ad and research the perfect keywords for your product. So this is essentially how you get started with this whole AdWords approach. And one last thing that I want to talk about now are keyword match types, because what we have right now here is, first let me also all pause these keywords. We have now 3 keywords, but they are all in broad match. So cotton candy machine, nostalgia cotton candy, and nostalgia cotton candy maker. It seems that they are 100% fitting, but in reality, because they are broad match, which means they don't have any modifiers attached to them, people might, for example, look for chocolate or chocolate bar or candy machine without the cotton, because these are broad match keywords and they just have to be very, very roughly related to a search query. In this case, it means that people might be looking for all kind of things and they still get this ad. In order to get a little more control about on what people should be looking for, we could come up with something like cotton candy machine like this. So you know that the little plus signs here, this is called a broad match modifier, and now people have to people can look for all kind of things, but they have to include these 3 words in their search query. So the order doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether they have something in between these words, but they have to include all 3 words. And now we have much more control, because we can eliminate all the useless things that have nothing to do with our product, like chocolate or totally unrelated things that sometimes show up when you use broad match. There are also more match types like exact match, where people have to exactly type in one specific keyword, like for example this one here, nostalgia cotton candy. So if you put it in these brackets, then people have to look exactly for this without anything else. And there is also, you can also use the phrase match, which is this one here. In this case, people have to look exactly for this query, but they can add something before or after it, but they have to keep the words that you put in these things in the same order. So this is essentially how you go about it. The first part, like I said, if you didn't watch the video, please do so, was about the landing page. The second part right here, you should come up with profitable keywords that match your goals. Step 1, the most relevant one. Step 2, broaden your scope a little bit to get more traffic, even though it might be a little less relevant. And the next step, create highly relevant ads for your keywords so that you can link your keywords, your ads, and your landing page. If you do all this correctly, chances are pretty high that you will sell your products, if these products are good to sell on a landing page. So someone on YouTube asked me whether you could do this with fashion products like probably jeans or dresses and stuff like this. And I don't really recommend this, because fashion typically requires a lot of selection. So if you are looking for something like a new dress or so, you probably don't want to go to a page where there's just one single product. So normally you just go through a collection of dozens or hundreds of products and choose one, and you don't just go to a website, there is one dress, one single dress, and you say, okay, this is great, let me buy this right away. This typically isn't how fashion works. But you can do this with all kind of products, especially if they are a little unique, a little out of the box. Typically, you don't have to put a lot of time into research before you stumble upon one of these products. So there are plenty of ways you can do this with. I hope this video now here was helpful for you. I hope you get some new ideas on how you can promote your products. way more efficiently than with some Facebook ads that you might be running. Like I said, please get the free report if you want to get a full guide on this. I also have a little surprise for you right after you download this report. Also, if you want to see more about AdWords, about e-commerce and marketing, please subscribe to this channel for even more content on how you can successfully sell your products. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope this was helpful for you guys, and bye bye. See you in the next video. Until then.